All right. Hello. Welcome to a live post-game edition of the ONG Strike Zone live at Bragg Memorial Stadium. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier here, and the Florida A&M Rattlers got it done with a 31-10 victory over West Florida. Kelvin, what is that? Is that tea we're drinking, or is that just plain old water?
Just plain old water for now.
Plain old water for now.
I can't wait to get it something a little stronger, though.
Yeah, definitely. The Rattlers come through with their 16th consecutive win at Bragg Memorial Stadium, the second longest streak. Is that the nation or is it FCS? I can't.
I know it's FCS.
Okay. I think it might be the nation. I think it's the nation. Well, it's a tale of two halves, and it sounds cliche, but it is what it is. The first half, our score, 3-3. Not what we wanted, not what we hoped. Then you get into the second half. Much better second half.
Third quarter specifically.
Yeah. So let's kind of start. Let's start with just some of the things that we saw from the first half. I'm gonna try to pull up the stats here, and I'm gonna go with your quick observations. I know obviously a lot of stats are available online. You might have the app pulled up with some stats, but let's kind of go through just the first half alone and just some of your thoughts from the first half.
I was really disappointed with the play calling and the execution in the first half. I was extremely frustrated in some of the things that we tried to do. And also, I thought that we would be able to be more dominant against their defensive line. I thought the line of scrimmage is where we would have an advantage. And they kind of played us toe-to-toe for that first half.
They did. They were. I think they were surprisingly tough up front. I thought their offensive line looked pretty doggone good. And maybe our defensive line just wasn't as physical. We'll get into talking about that and physicality in a moment, but go ahead, continue.
Well, you kind of lead the other takeaways, particularly from the first half, is how many guys we had to go down. General Hunt went down. We had offensive linemen to go down. We had a linebacker, even though he came back into the game, Chaney, to go out. We had guys on the field a lot. So evidently, West Florida was fairly physical. And this was their Super Bowl, so to speak, and I think they played up a little bit. And in that first half, we definitely played down a little bit. I don't think we did anything to make it difficult on them. It looked like they took a little bit of what South Florida tried to do with us also, and they started to run blitz a little more and try to stop the run on first downs and essentially make Musa and the receivers beat you. And that's probably going to be the formula that everybody's going to follow. Now, we did get the tight ends involved in some of our bigger receivers, and I think that's a good counter to what teams are doing, because our tight end group is so talented and versatile. So,
West Florida started with the ball, and in their first 3 possessions, they punted on drives of 6 plays, 31 yards. Then 6 plays, 12 yards, and then 4 plays, 20 yards. We weren't as productive either. I mean, in our first 2 drives, when we did receive the ball, we went 6 plays, 26 yards, punted. Our second drive, starting on our own 27, we only went 4 plays, 12 yards, punted. And it wasn't until we got into late in the first quarter, starting on our own 21, that we actually put together a 9-play drive got all the way down to the 11-yard line, weren't able to punch it into the end zone, settled with a field goal. So that field goal by Cameron Gillis of 28 yards, first points of the ball game. Then West Florida came right back and challenged us with their own 10-play drive, but only really had to go 35 yards, Kelvin. Returned the ball on the kickoff to midfield.
A couple of times.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting film breakdown for the coaches when you look at our special teams, our special teams return setup. That's going to be.
We had to start pooch kicking it last week because we couldn't cover, and then we playing this D2, and that was the best part of their game. Defensively, we pretty much shut them down. They had 65 yards of total offense when you had the sacks in at halftime. But that I feel our kickoff team is.
Kickoff return team.
No, kickoff team.
Oh, okay. The kickoff return, the kickoff team, period.
Yeah,
I got you. The kickoff team.
It is really rough right now.
Yeah.
And, I'm looking at somebody's side eye. Pine Bluff coach. I'm looking a little side eye right now.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Yeah. There were a couple more punts. One more punt by Florida by us. 6 plays, 31 drive. This is with the score tied 3-3. Then West Florida punted. The punters had a good day. If I go and look at the averages for our special teams and our punters, let me see. Just kind of doing a quick scroll here.
42 and 45 were the averages.
Wow. Yeah.
For the game. 42.9 for West Florida off 7 punts and 45 off of 3 punts for FAMU.
Whew. Yeah. So that's how the first half pretty much came up. The big thing you talked about, the injuries, and the injuries there. I don't know. Everybody walked off, although, a couple guys were holding. I saw a couple guys holding the shoulder. One guy, John, was it Cheney? Cheney looked like might have been, we're all speculating, might have been concussion related, the way he was slowly walking. I mean, no telling. And unfortunately, listening in the post-game presser, no one really asked about those injuries, and I'm sure coach doesn't really have info to give, so it's probably a wasted question to ask. We won't know until Monday. So I think on Monday we'll kind of go back and look and think about those names, who came up a little lame in the game, and then we'll kind of do there. And so
now we did say, part of what we talked about pregame and on Wednesday's show was that we thought it'd be tight in first half, and it was, and then our depth and talent would eventually pull away in the second half, and it played out that way. But it was much tighter, and we were a lot less effective on the opposite side than I thought we would be in the first half. I thought we would get off to a little bit faster start, and that didn't happen.
Who go through those names? I told you when we got to about the fourth guy, who were some of those names that we came up a little injured, or at least we were slow coming off.
Jalen Goss, the starting left tackle, he didn't return, and I'm not sure the extent of his injury, but it looked like a arm shoulder type deal. We had Jenna Hunt who came off, and I don't think he went back in, and that was the first quarter. I think both of those injuries was in the first half. Mm-hmm. Then we talked about Cheney who went off, but I thought I saw him at least come back maybe, but I'm not sure on that. It might have been the kid from Louisville who was in there, similar size.
Uh-huh.
And I think everybody else came back. Everybody else came back, played, and so forth. But our depth is getting tested, especially on the O line right now. If you consider the guys we lost last week, and then Cardell did play today, to my surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't. He started, but I don't think he logged heavy minutes though. It looked like we went with our depth a little more in the second quarter and second half. So we just have to see where we are. But again, the defense, man. I told you the difference between this FAMU team and everybody we play is going to be our defense, and they lived up to the billing again. It's just going to be extremely hard for teams to drive the ball on this defense and score more than 2 touchdowns. So we kind of know what our formula is, and we know the offense knows, as long as they ain't giving up touchdowns by turning the ball over, that we get 17 points, we're probably gonna win the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Defense was amazing, and I got to get to the point where I learn how to appreciate this defense. I think I'm being so focused on offense, and I think a lot of us, a lot of you guys, and a lot of others, because I see the tweets and all the other stuff, and we get the messages. A lot of us, we're concerned or inquisitive, maybe is the better word or right word, about the offensive play calling, the quarterback play, all of those things, but we're missing how great a defense we have right now. So we have to remind ourselves, we have to sort of tap ourselves on the back of the head or whatever, and just kind of remind ourselves, hey, look, we got a first-class defense. Yeah. And even though at times the offense is looking spotty, I was happy to see we got the 31 today. We were joking in the pregame if we would get the 40. Didn't happen.
We just don't do 40.
No, we just but I thought the way that first half was going, it was kind of rough. But yeah, we just got to remind ourselves we got a first-class defense, and defense travels. And so, the offense will eventually come around. We've got enough options. And what I think we saw as we went into the second half is Coach really got into some guys. He said so in the press conference in a nice roundabout way, but he got into people. We even saw Coach Henry, was it, late in the second quarter, calling the entire group over. And I think he was pointing to the stats, because on the new scoreboard, you can see clearly your stat production, and he was getting into guys. He was getting into that whole offensive group, from the linemen to the receivers to the quarterbacks, everybody. And I bet that message carried through into the locker room in not so many nice words, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And hey, look, I know a lot of people who started seeing it on Twitter. A lot of you guys were questioning and wondering, were we going to see it QB2? Even few people in the stands around us where we were sitting outside, and it just because the throws, you can go look at the chart and see the throws were off. And look, I think there's a fair complement of play calling and performance.
Yes.
Okay. Play calling and performance. Now go look at the second half. If you just take the first half, go look at it, chart it, do whatever you want to do. Go look at it, then go eat some popcorn, and now put that away, and then go back and look at what we did in the second half. You'll see an entirely different play calling scheme. You'll see quicker throws, quicker decision making, simple. Jeremy Musa came out. I think he completed 11 of his last 12, including 3 touchdowns. He got the ball to guys quickly. First option. And
tight ends and running backs involved more.
In
the passing game.
So the question is, how do we do that consistently? We do that. I think we, against South Florida, against Jackson State in the first half, we do that. The question is, we're a team of halves. We had good first half Jackson State, good second half against West Florida, probably in total, maybe 2 good quarters against South Florida. I don't know which, even though we scored in every quarter, I don't know how we break that down. But right now we're a 2-quarter offensive team. We're still looking to try to play a good 4 quarters offensively. And that's the challenge that I think Coach Simmons, Jeremy Musa, Coach Henry, they've all got to figure that out.
Yeah, from the offensive standpoint, it's always something different. It's the quarterback being a little off. He's been consistent with that, but to today, actually, if you look at his completion percentage, we said he needed to get it over 60%, and he got it over 60% today.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But it wasn't the first quarter, though.
No, it didn't come out the first quarter. No, our first half. It didn't come out the first half. Yeah. All right. So let's look at those drives in the second half as we go into the third quarter. FAMU starts with the ball on our own 25, and we go right down the field. 9 plays, 75 yards, score a touchdown right quick. And that touchdown, of course, was a 27-yard pass from Musa to Kamari Young in 4 minutes. That was a nice drive. Nice drive by FAMU. Then West Florida gets the ball. We forced them 3 and out. Great job by the defense. 3 and out. Then we actually work on a real short field starting from the West Florida 27-yard line. And I'm trying to recall, was that based on a punt return? That was a punt return by Jamarie,
Shareed,
Shareed, which put us at the 27. And so then all it was at that point, it was 2 plays, 27 yards total. Jeremy Musa hits Marcus Riley for 24 yards. Literally, we score in 45 seconds. So we come right back and put two quick scores on board. The crowd starts to wake up in it. The energy in the whole stadium starts to pick up tremendously. We're starting to feel like, okay, we're really starting to pull away from this West Florida team. West Florida, we force another punt on 5 plays, 19 yards. Then we start with the ball on our own 14-yard line following the punt. And then we have a 4-play, 86-yard drive, which the big play of that drive was a 59-yard pass play from Musa to Nicholas Dixon. That was a beautiful play, beautiful hookup.
Wide open. They faked that screen that had been working all night. And
that bunch, that three receivers on the left side and sort of that triangle formation, which usually we're used to seeing it as a screen.
Right.
We had ran it as a screen earlier and kind of got blown up. And I think that's what West Florida saw. Took advantage of it.
They jumped the route thinking it was going to be that screen behind the line of scrimmage. And Ditson slipped the screen and he was wide open. And he can run a little better than I thought. But now the run of the day obviously was Jennings. And to my surprise, looking at his stats, he only ran twice. He ran once in the first quarter and then that touchdown run. And I didn't know he had that extra gear in him, man. When he turned that corner, man, he was moving. I mean, even the crowd was like, wow.
Right. That was the 4th consecutive possession that we scored. And of course that was Terrell Jennings going around the left side, a 73-yard touchdown run. This is after we actually did end up giving up a touchdown to West Florida on a 23-yard pass connection. They went 11 plays on that drive, but we came right back, answered, and that the 73-yard run by Jennings, who finished the day with the great stat line of the day. 2 attempts, 79 net yards, 1 touchdown, an average of 39.5, which I said during what did I tell you guys Jennings' average was? Take note now, this is the second game of 3 that Terrell Jennings has had over 75 rushing yards in a game. His career average is about 34 a game. And he's a top 30. He was top 30 coming into the year. I told you Jennings was going to be a top 20 career back. He's well above pace right now.
So let's help coach out. Jennings has got to start. He got to get more carries.
I would got to
get more than 2 carries.
I would definitely. I would think about the rotation. I mean, the rotation has consistently been Dean, Yant, and then Jennings. Dean today 10 carries, 40 yards, net 38. His long was a 19-yard run. Yant 7 carries, 21 yards, net 19. His long was 10 yards. Leland Wilhoit, primarily in the fourth quarter, 4 carries, 20 yards, 20 of them net. His long was 17. But yeah, Jennings now for the third. Jennings is probably leading the team in rushing yards. But yeah, I would agree. You got to find a way to get Jennings more touches.
Along with Kamari Young. I mean, it looked like every time he catches, it's a touchdown. He is so reliable as a pass catcher out the backfield. I would love to see more 2 tight end sets. Yes, I know teams trying to run blitz. I really think if we were running 2 tight end sets a little more, then we could still have some success on first down against that.
Great point, Montre. Talking about Jennings has dropped some weight. I noticed that too. He looks like he has dropped some weight, showing some nice speed. like Kelvin said, didn't know he had that kind of breakaway speed. We have to ask Coach that on Monday's presser if he recalls Jennings with that kind of breakaway speed. I don't think he's had any kind of run like that in his career at FAM. If anybody can recall a run like that by Jennings, let us know. But I don't think I've seen one.
I think against South Florida 2 seasons ago? Which it was one of his better games because he rushed for over 100. I think he broke one then too, but he didn't make a touchdown on it, I don't think, on that particular play. He scored a touchdown in that game, but I don't think it was on that play.
Yeah. On the receivers, let's see the receiving stats from this contest. Marcus Riley actually with 4 receptions, 77 yards and a score. Nicholas Dixon, 2 receptions, 72 yards and a score. Kamari Young, 4 receptions, 58 yards and a touchdown. Jamari Gassett, I was impressed with his catch. He had 2 catches, 42 yards. His long was 21, which I was really impressed by that 21-yard game. It came on almost like a slant route, and I thought he was impressive. Shareed, 3 catches, 17 yards. Kobe Gross, 1 catch, 15. Will Hoyt, 1 catch for 14. Jeremiah Pruitt, 2 catches for 7 yards. Darian Oxendine caught a ball for 4 yards as well. In total, FAMU passed for 306 yards. Jeremy Musa was 18 of 27, 271, 3 touchdowns, no INTs. He was sacked only 1 time. His completion percentage, 66.7. And like I said, I don't recall what it was in the first half, but he finished with 11 of his last 12 completions. So that number, that's why that percentage grew. And that's what
and that's why we had 3 touchdowns.
Exactly.
The key to our success is him being efficient with his opportunities. He has to complete the passes that are there. And I just thought it was so much simpler for him. He saw his reads better, and he got the ball out quick in that third quarter.
We even saw Junior Maritovic sighting, much to the excitement of my buddy here. 2 completions on 3 attempts for 35 yards, including 1 nice rollout. His very first throw was a nice rollout, and I don't know, I forgot who he hit, but that was a nice throw. So it was good to see Junior get in there. Good to see the second team guys get some opportunities in the fourth quarter. The fact that we finally grew a lead, I was getting kind of worried that we weren't going to build a lead that would allow for the second team guys to get on the field. But thankfully those 4 scores, 3 of them in the third quarter, and the fourth one at the top of the fourth really
gave us
helps.
separation.
Yeah, gave us enough of the separation, and of course, let's give some credit on the defensive side. We got our first, I believe it's our first. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong here. Our first interception of the season came in the fourth quarter. That goes credit to Kamani King.
Tip drill.
Off of a tip. I forgot who tipped it. Let me see if it's on the breakup. Probably Kendall Bowler. He's either Bowler or Khalil Hunter. Those are the only two who have breakups other than Kamani King. So somebody was covering the receiver into the end zone, tipped it. King came in and scooped it up. Anthony Dunn Jr. was a monster tonight. 4 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 4 quarterback hurries. And in total, I think I heard Gerald Thomas mention this to coach in the post-game presser. 16, I think it's 16 or 14, something. It was double-digit quarterback hurries. Double-digit quarterback hurries. So props to the defensive unit again for doing a great job. Looking at the total team numbers, we held West Florida to 213 total yards on 64 plays. That's an average of 3.3 yards per play. They committed 13 penalties for 99 yards. For us, we had 475 total yards of offense on 59 plays, an average of 8.1 per play. We committed 8 penalties for 80 yards. Not bad. I don't think there were any penalties that really killed us per se. Time of possession, West Florida 32-01, FAMU 27-59. Third down conversion, West Florida was 4 of 14 on third down. We were 5 of 11. West Florida was 2 for 2 on fourth down. We were 0 for 2. Red zone, we scored once on our 2 red zone opportunities. They were 1 for 1. We had 2 sacks. They only had 1. Just trying to look here. Both teams had a field goal. Trying to see if I see any other stats here that really pop out to me.
While you going through your stat nerd rundown.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Nerd alert. I'm sorry. I just nerding out on you guys. Sorry.
But what I wanted to say is 2 things that I think we should point out. First up, West Florida, don't forget, ranked team, top 5 team in Division 2.
Top 5.
So to be able to create that separation and turn it on, still is significant. And then South Florida game against Alabama, we put up more points against South Florida than Alabama did.
Yeah. What was it? 17-3 was the final.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty impressive.
So we're playing good competition, and we're competitive. So that does bode well, especially the way the SWAC looking right now.
Yeah,
but we got to stay healthy.
We got to stay healthy. Yeah, it's interesting. West Florida, that's going to be a good team going into their conference play. That is a good team, definitely. And they've shown that. SWAC season starts. I've already heard prognosticators and other people talking that we are the best team in the SWAC. And now, obviously, 3 weeks have played out. But I think if you're scoreboard watching, if you're stat watching,
we look the part.
We look the part right now. We look the part of the favorite. Now, it all starts next week. Alabama State's coming in town. They've had a bye week, I believe. A chance to lick their wounds after losing to Miles. So we'll see. It'll be a defensive struggle. No doubt. They played us well defensively. We made a lot of mistakes last year against them. Probably a lot closer than what it probably should have been, or a lot of, what people expected it. So that's to be considered as we move forward.
Speaking on the whole D2 theme, there was 4 SWAC games where they played D2s
under D1s or whatever.
Right.
The BCSN.
So Miles lost
playing,
the UAP by 1. They missed that. The guy that had an
extra point in
the
fourth quarter that would have tied the game up.
Florida Memorial put up 22 on Grambling, and then a ranked Delta State team right behind West Florida, I believe, is they beat Valley 35-7. So
Delta State beat Valley.
Yeah.
That was a.
Yeah. So
I think I won that on the picks thing.
So D2 programs.
Yeah, that's the third consecutive week of D2 has beaten an FCS HBCU team. So like I said, we got to be, and I don't think there will be too many more crossovers, because at this point everybody's moving into conference play from this point forward. The attendance this night was over the 15,000 that I predicted. You predicted what?
I want to say 16,500 or 17, right at 17.
17,953. Yeah, is the attendance.
So solid
attendance. Yeah. Solid attendance. We'll talk about the atmosphere and the challenges. we'll talk about that on Wednesday. We can't be here too much longer, because that might be a conversation which will go on for minutes, maybe hours, and we don't have time to do that tonight. So I'm sure you can look at Instagram and Twitter and see all kinds of stuff, and we'll talk about all of that good stuff. We'll just leave it at that. So
home streak continues.
Yes, sir.
2-1. So we still control our own destiny.
Tamara asked, how was the field dedication? It was nice.
Great ceremony.
Even the halftime was nice. The Tallahassee mayor, did read a proclamation at halftime. It was great. It was nice. It was great to see, Ken Jr., his sisters, his mom, other family members, other former players. It was nice to see. And it was a good crowd here. I can't. At least at halftime, a lot of people at halftime saw it. I don't know how many people in pregame saw it, but the halftime,
there was some challenges.
There's some challenges. Halftime, people saw it at halftime, so that's pretty cool. But it was a nice ceremony. So and Coach Simmons, really, you could tell. There's really motion and a reverence and respect that he has for where he is in the history. He made a big deal. He was not shy about how emotional it was and how special it meant to him to be the first coach to run out on Ken Riley Field, to get a victory on Ken Riley Field at Bragg Memorial Stadium. And I don't think that was just talk. I really felt that, and he's been consistent about. Remember, this is a coach who, as a young man, wanted to be here. He knows he should have been here as a player, and so he gets it. He gets it, and I think this is why we have a treasure. And I'll just begin to close this show by saying we have got to support this program. We have got to support athletics. By hook or crook. We have to overcome the challenges and the obstacles from outside sources, outside entities. That we have a jewel, and we got to keep polishing it. We got to keep feeding it. That's all I can say. We have got to give to athletics. We've got to find the resources to continue to grow the athletic department. I mean,
Hey, Brian, let me just
I'll let you
like
close it out. I'll let you close it out. Yes, please. I'll get long-winded.
The belt will be coming out Wednesday.
The belt is coming out. Yes, the belt and paddle is coming out Wednesday. That's all I got to say. It's coming back. It's got to come out. So that's all we've got for tonight. Again, got to thank Rick Kinsey in the pregame. We got to get out of here before they throw us out, and we gotta run. So everybody, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. You can always contribute to the show in the super chat, or you can Cash App. Show your appreciation. Tomorrow night, AD Drew and I will do the BCSN Sports Wrap, 6 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about the entire week 3 of HBCU football. Then, of course, Wednesday, myself, Kelvin, and Marcus we'll do a recap. Volleyball. We'll talk about volleyball. We'll talk about Alabama State. Maybe we'll try to find somebody to give us some insight on Alabama State. We'll do some hunting. I think we've also got a couple of guests lined up as well.
Yes.
You want to early preview that or no? Okay, we got some guests. We got some guests for Wednesday. So a loaded show for Wednesday. You guys make sure to tune in. Share the show. Do me a favor. That'd be great. Wherever you're watching it, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, retweet, share it. Let your Rattlers family know it was good to run into some people in the lines outside that recognized us, that watched the show. We appreciate all of you who watched the show, who listened. Now, please share it. Share it with 5 Rattlers. Do them a favor. Do a favor for us. Share it with 5 Rattlers and tell them to come on Wednesday and watch with us as we get ready for the start of conference play in the SWAC.
Shout out to Rick Kinsey.
Amen. Amen. We're going to go back to the RV, get our stuff. Who knows, maybe talk about this one. So, hey, Rattler Nation, be good, be safe. Have a great rest of the weekend. We'll see everybody on Wednesday night right here on the Black College Sports Network and the Jericho Broadcast Network's YouTube page. Download my JBM, my BCSN on the Google Play or Apple App Store. Make sure you're following at ONG StrikeZone on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Kelvin, I'm Brian. Peace out, everybody. Fangs up, everybody.